Alright, so I was putting off making this video for one of two reasons. One being the fact I didn't want to piss anyone off. Two being that I really need to get my thoughts together before I was going to speak on a topic and just say a bunch of random stuff. Alright, I have to make some really valid points and tell you why exactly I feel this way. Alright, so it doesn't come off sounding, bad. Alright, so just bear with me here, and hopefully, hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. So, why I hate Asian people. Alright, so this isn't something that, has just happened. It's something that it's been a long process, and it's something that, it's been bothering me lately, actually. It's something that is very, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, alright, and it's not just all, it's just, because there's actually a few I do like, the Filipinos and the Indians, the dark-skinned ones, I like them, alright, but when it comes to the Chinese, to the Koreans, the Vietnamese, Cambodians, whatever, I dislike them, alright. So growing up, I wasn't raised around a bunch of Asian people, so going to a school, I was brought around a bunch of different types of people of all different races, but, not, when it came to Asians, I didn't really associate with them too much, I had probably one friend in elementary school that we grew up together, sort of, and we were friends, so that's about it, alright? Some people might say it could be, environmental factors, maybe that's the way you were raised. The way I was raised was different from the way you were raised or the way someone else is raised, you know what I'm saying? My parents didn't teach me to be racist. They didn't teach me to be prejudiced against anybody of any different race or color, alright? They felt that you should, if you're gonna like someone, like them. It doesn't matter what their race is, as long as they treat you good and they're a good person and you genuinely like and care or love them, then race shouldn't even matter, so when it comes to Asians, why I dislike them, it's a feeling I get. I can't explain it, you can't really explain feelings. It's, I get nervous, I get really uncomfortable, I don't know why. It's something that I've struggled with for a very, very long time. Actually, when I was younger, I used to hate all Asian people. Doesn't matter what their race was. Maybe deep down inside, I hated myself. Maybe. I don't know. How I feel now is not the same. I love myself. Obviously, if you're in a relationship, you have to love yourself before you can love the other person, because I feel that the reason why I feel this way is because I wasn't raised around Asian people. That's why I think I feel the way I feel. My stepfather is a white guy, alright? So when I was younger, doing like the whole family get-togethers, I'd be the only non-white person. Alright, so it's weird, alright? When you're mixed, you might see one side of your family more than you see the other side, alright? So you might identify with that one race in particular than the other one. Not saying that you dislike them or you're trying to distance yourself or because you don't want to identify with them. It's just maybe that's how it is, alright? For me, I'm not white, alright? So for me, it was a challenge. When I was younger, I had an identity. I didn't know who I was. I had this crisis, basically. You know, when I get together, when we have these little get-togethers, it's like his family will be over here, talking, laughing, being together as a family should. Me, I'd be off to the side, sitting down or maybe in the back room watching TV, because I felt out of place. I felt like I didn't belong. That's the worst feeling that you could put a kid through. All right, feeling not wanted or feeling out of place. That's the horrible feeling. If you never experienced that, then good for you. Now, for me, that's something I struggled with for a very long time, until eventually, like I let things bother me. I let people get to me. People would say something, and me being a little kid, I would take what people will say to heart. It would really affect me. Someone said something about my race, or they would ask me my race, and they don't know me. I felt, I don't know. It's difficult. It's a difficult situation, being different, and maybe in some schools you're not around certain groups of people, not because you don't want to. It's just your area that you live in. That's what it is. So I decided last semester, when I was picking out my classes for school, I decided to take a Asian American Studies class. Not because I even cared about learning the history on Asian groups and this and that. The main reason is because I wanted to be open-minded, be more accepting to different Asian groups, because clearly I'm not. And some people take that as being really prejudice, because I dislike them. I dislike them a lot. It's a feeling I get. It's sort of like if someone is racist, if you're from the South, and you're white and you dislike someone who's black, so if you ask that person, why are they racist? You know what they'll say? They'll say, because that's how I was raised. Alright? So is that a valid point? To them, yes. To you, you're not going to understand it, because you weren't raised in that environment. You don't know what they've been through. And it's not their fault, alright, that they were raised a certain way. And that's sort of how I am. If I tell people this, they don't understand. They're quick to judge, and if you've never been in that situation, or you have no idea what they're going through, then how can you judge them? Try to understand, try to talk to them, try to kind of understand where they're coming from, because clearly you want to bash them for something that maybe it's not their fault. Maybe if they weren't in certain environments, or they didn't grow up the way they did, then certainly their outcome and their thought and their opinions would be totally different. For me, that's how it is. Stereotypes do play a small role, but I don't really pay attention to those, because stereotypes, they're hurtful. They don't do anything for you. They just make someone, if you're not around that race, then you're gonna believe everything you hear negative, or if you see something in the media, you're gonna believe it just because you're not around them. But once maybe it's your own ignorance. I don't know. Maybe it's my own ignorance why I'm the way I am. But like I said, I think it's just because I wasn't around Asian people growing up, certain types of Asian people, so that's why I tend not to like them. Stereotypes do play a role in it too, because the people I've been around, they fit those stereotypes, and which makes it worse. So, this thing I have, I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to correct it. I notice it's a problem, something that I'm working on correcting. It's something that has been bothering me lately. So I just started my fall classes last week, and like I said, I'm taking this Asian American Studies class to just be open-minded. Try to see things in another way that hopefully it will make me not so, I guess, prejudiced against certain Asian groups like I am right now. It's something most people are not gonna understand. So if you're gonna write your hate messages about it, then I suggest you not even do it, because I don't read them. They'll probably just get deleted, and you're wasting your time doing it, so I don't really see the point. So like I said, I've only been to that one class once, and the first day I started the class, I was 5 minutes late because I couldn't find parking, and when I got there, all the seats were taken, so I had to stand up the whole time right by the door, and there was about 5-6 other people that were around me, so we all had to stand up for an hour and a half, which for me is very, very difficult to do, because it's not that I hate standing up, it's just that I get really fidgety, I move around a lot, and that's how it is. And being in that class, I know it was my first day, and I was just looking around the room, is filled with all Asian people. Alright, and the surprising thing was 2 of the people in the class were white. I was like, wow, that was really shocking to me. So I was very uneasy. I was very uncomfortable the whole time being in that class. If I tried to move around, I bumped someone to my left, or if I bumped someone, I'll bump someone to my right. So, if I move around too much. So there's about 45 people in the class, which is crazy. And then one of the things he had us do, he wrote about 20 topics on the board, and we have to choose one of those topics, and we have to write a short little paper on it, whether you're for it or you're against it. So the topic I chose was interracial marriage, and obviously I'm for it. And the one thing I found very interesting was, in the class, he asked to see a show of hands of how many people think that they would date or marry interracially. And out of 45 people in the class, guess how many people raised their hand? 3 people. 3 people. I found that very surprising, very shocking, just because most all of them are, American born. They're Asian Americans. They're not their parents were, they're born in Asia and they immigrant here. So I found that very surprising, very shocking, and some of the other topics that he had listed on the board, I found it's like I know nothing about their culture, the Asian culture, because one of the topics was, I guess, Asian guys when they're wanting to marry their Asian their girls, I guess they'll pay the family like $10,000. It's like, not that they own them, it's just, I don't know. I found that to be extremely weird, very, very strange. I've never heard of anything like that, where the guy has to pay for the girl. It's like, sort of like they own them in a way, but not really, because you can't just pay your parents off for, your child, because $10,000, that's not, it costs way more to raise a kid than $10,000. You know what I'm saying? And then they have this other one where I guess if they get married, the Asian couple, they get married, and the girl has to come live with you, and you might live with like your other family. I don't know. I just found it very strange. And so this class, I don't know. I think this class is going to be extremely difficult for me, not because the material is going to be hard. It's just that the way I feel, the way I get uncomfortable being around Asian people, all Asian people. You know, I've never been around that, so it's going to be a challenge for me. I feel that it's going to be really difficult for me. And one of the things I'm most nervous on, especially on the debate on interracial marriage, is I don't want to get up in front of the class and say something that might offend everyone, because knowing me, I might slip up and say something I'm not supposed to say, and it's going to end up pissing everyone off, you know. I'll probably end up saying something like, I don't like Asians, and I don't date them. So that's one thing I'm really nervous about, is being in this class, is I don't want to say something, you know, open my mouth, say something that might offend someone, because that's not that's not me, alright? I don't do things or say things to piss people off intentionally. If it comes off the way it comes off, oh well. But my intentions are always good. They're never meant to hurt anyone or make someone feel, you know, bad or uncomfortable, because that's the last thing I would want. You know, I wouldn't want to pass on my own ignorance or my own hate onto someone else, because, you know, I wouldn't like it done to me. Alright? Plain and simple. This is why I'm taking this class. But like I said, it's a challenge because I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to cope with something that this is all I've known, is to hate or dislike someone. You know, I don't have this problem with any other race. I have friends who are Latino, black, whatever. Asian, not so much. So it's my own ignorance. It's something that I don't like. It's something that I want to change. This is the whole point of taking this class. If I don't learn anything from this class, at least the one thing I want to take out of it is to be more accepting, more open-minded, not be so, you know, stuck in my ways, you know, because I've noticed that they're bad. So I'm trying to correct them, you know. And for anyone to hate on me or to say their hate messages, that's not helping someone, you know. You should always, you know, give constructive criticism, you know. And this is sort of why I wanted to make the video, because I'm hoping I'm not the only one out here that feels this way. I'm sure there are individuals out there who understand where I'm coming from or have been in the same situation. And my question to you is, how do you deal with it? How do you cope? Because I want to get better, you know. It's sort of like when you say to someone in an abusive relationship, get out. It's easier said than done, you know. You just can't walk away from something like that. Especially if the girl is like, oh, I love them, but, you know, they beat me at night. What type of relationship is that? You know, you can always get help. There's always, you know, support groups out there that are willing, you know, to help you cope with, you know, your situation. Now, do you forget it? Of course not. You know, that's something you're never going to forget. Same thing with the way I feel. It's something that it can get better, but it's not going to completely go away. It's going to take time. And this is what I'm trying to do. And I'm hoping that's the one thing I want to take out from this, is just to not be the way I am, alright? And I don't, and I'm hoping, you know, I learned something from this class too, you know, the history on Asian people in general, because if you look through your history books, your U.S. history books, you're not going to hear anything about that. You might hear something probably on like the whole Japanese and the Hawaiian, where they bombed Pearl Harbor and whatnot. But you don't hear anything else, That's one thing that I kind of didn't like about the history, is that they didn't really touch on certain things that I wanted them to touch about. Like, with the whole, it's like when the Japanese people got put in those internment camps after, Pearl Harbor. Everyone thought they were all bad people. And that's not the case. And, you don't hear about the struggles that they went through, and me being part Japanese myself, I want to know about it, because you hear in the history books, you mainly hear about prejudice against whites and blacks, when they had this whole thing going on, where they had the colors only, and then they had, the whites only spots. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible time in our history, and thank God I was not born or raised in that era, because those are mainly those adults in their 40s and 50s or older. They're going to be less open-minded to change, and I know as people my age, in their 20s, early 20s, and younger, are more open-minded, more accepting towards people of all different cultures and races, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing, I don't hate on that. I posted, I don't know if y'all seen it, but I posted a video. My first video was on AMBW, Asian men and black women. I find it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, having two people come together that you probably wouldn't think in a million years would be attracted or like each other, and they come together, and it's just a beautiful thing to see two people of complete different backgrounds, cultures, whatever, come together, and you just see how they interact with each other. You can tell that they care or love each other. And for me, when it comes to interracial relationships, I support it. I think you should see more of it, However, there are some things I don't agree with it. Dating for the wrong reasons, being you want to date someone of a specific race because you never tried it. I think that's a lame excuse to want to date interracially. It should be about the person, whether you like the person, you get along, their personality, something you like about them, but it just shouldn't be based on their looks or their race. It should be based on something deeper, on a deeper emotional level. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's sort of what I'm going to be having to talk about in my debate. And hopefully I'll keep you guys up to date and let you know what's going on with me and this class, and hopefully by the end of it I learn something, I take away something, and I don't know, but if any of you guys have comments, questions, post them up. I would love to hear what you guys think, and even make a video, make a response to my video. I would love to see what you gotta say, and whether you agree with me or you disagree, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. Alright, so I know this video is kind of long. I wasn't intending on making it this long, but there are some things that I had to really get off my chest that that had been bothering me. So I thought, perfect time, why not make a video for it? Alright, so this is the end of it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Guess I'll talk to you guys later, alright? Late.